Hi. I'm doing, first I gotta fix my chair. Uh, okay, that's a little bit better. I wanted to do a video, and I wanted to talk about a subject that I've talked about in another video that I did, but I wanted to be a little more, thorough this time. Now, I've talked to a few people that have commented on my past video, and we conversed quite heavily. I wanted to talk about our rights. Our rights that we have that are not written down, like the right to bear arms, or the right to free speech, or the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, which, in all intents and purposes, the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, everything else derives from those. Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, those three things. Everything else derives from that. Now, I was in court. I found out later that the federal court that I was in, I should not have been in federal court. I should have been in a state, like the state court. The state, it should have been the state of Minnesota versus, instead of the United States versus. So basically, because I was on federal property, they assumed it was a federal matter. Now, I've talked to several lawyers since that have told me that the VA police, or the veterans, that when I say VA police, everybody automatically assumes it's Virginia. VA, Veterans Administration Police, which are part of Homeland Security. They're federal police officers that are guarding the Veterans Administration Hospital. I happen to live in an area where it's a gray area, because the VA police, or the Veterans Administration Police, they think they can just throw their weight around, and they think they can just tell you what to do even when it's not their jurisdiction. The first court case that I had, the judge had asked the veterans police officer if there were signs clearly posted where he wrote me the ticket that says that it was VA property, or was there any proof that he was in his jurisdiction? And he said that there was, and I said, no, there's not. I told the judge that there wasn't. The VA police officer said there was, therefore they took his word for it. I have since been to the VA hospital, and I have since talked to the VA police, and I have asked them if they can show me where the signs are posted that we are on VA property, or that we are on federal property. We have not found any signs yet. The last time I went to court, I was found guilty of driving without a license, and upon doing so, the VA police was able to get the judge to basically side with them and rule against me. So, I said all of that to kind of get you to this. When you have rights that are not written down, when they're not enumerated, and they're the rights retained by the people, I want to know who decides what is a right and what isn't. I mean, if you can make money off of it, does that mean that it's not a right, that it is a privilege now? Like the right to travel unencumbered and unfettered. The right to take your property wherever you choose as part of your life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Now, if my happiness would happen to be in Minnesota up north, and it's a farm, but you can't get to it unless you have an automobile. And that's where my happiness is at, and I want to pursue that. I can't because they are stopping me. They are taking my right to be able to travel to that area, and they are unreasonably regulating me. Now, a lot of people will say that you have to have a driver's license, that's just the way it is. The state says you have to have a driver's license. You're a driver, you get in your car. They take the slang term of that. Now, I'm going to tell you, the next time somebody tells me that they're going to hop in a shower and they're going to hop in the tub and take a bath, I'm going to stand there and watch them, and if they don't hop into the tub, I'm going to be really pissed off at them. If they say, oh, I'm going to make a run down to the store, they had better put on their jogging shoes and start running, because if they get in their car and go, I'm going to be pissed because they said they were going to run. And since the state wants to take a slang term and make it literal, they want to take a slang term and say that now everybody is a driver because they say they drive. Oh yeah, I'm going to drive down to, or I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to drive. And yeah, well, you can take the slang all you want, and they've somehow managed to turn it into a legal term, which just because I say I'm going to drive, that doesn't mean that I'm getting paid to drive. That doesn't mean that I am a paid person that gets paid to sit behind the wheel of a car and drive. Now, I asked the judge why we have the Ninth Amendment if it's not going to do anything. If the Ninth Amendment is not there to protect me and my rights that are not written down, then I'm like, okay, well, what's the Ninth Amendment there for? And another thing is, now I'm confused because I don't know what my rights are. They say know your rights. Well, what is our rights? The ones that are written down we know because we can go look those up. But how do we know whether a right is a right when it's retained by the people? I'm going to need your help on this. If you bump into this video and you know anything about what I'm talking about, don't be a smart ass. Please don't be a smart ass. It can be fun to read your comment if you're a smart ass, but don't be a vindictive, dirty smart ass. That's what I'll say. If you have anything of importance that you can write down that would help me figure this out, please put a comment down. If you like any of my videos and you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. If there's anything I can do, like any video I can do that you want me to talk about, you're curious about, I'll look it up. If I can do a video about it, I'll say, hey, so-and-so requested this video. He was curious about this, and he wanted somebody to help him, find out more information about it. And I'll do like a 20-minute video, 15-minute video. I'm trying to keep down to a time because my videos were getting to be like a half hour, and sometimes 15 minutes is just a good enough time. But yeah, I mean, if you can put a help in there, leave a comment, say, this is what I know, because I found out some things from the last video I did on this where I spoke with a lawyer who had posted, because he was kind of concerned about what I put up there. He was like, no, what you sound like what happened was that they just kind of ramrodded you. And so he said he was going to look up my case and he was going to get back to me on it. He hasn't done that yet, but therefore it ain't been that long ago that he did that. So yeah, I mean, if you have any subject that you want me to talk about or whatever, just leave it. Say, hey, could you talk about this? If there's a way I can make my videos better, you got to tell me, There's things I know about that I can do to make it better and things that I don't know. But yeah, just put a comment down in the bottom. I'll reply to your comments. I do. Every comment I get, I reply because I'm curious as to what you're thinking, you know, and even the smart asses, I've replied to them too. They want to get into an argument. I don't do that. I don't get into no arguments, but I'm very passionate about the Constitution. I'm very passionate about the Founding Fathers created America a certain way. They broke their ass, or they busted their ass, and they were hard at work. They did the Revolutionary War, which cost a lot of civilians their lives. You know, all this stuff was done, and the Founding Fathers had a certain way that they wanted the Constitution to go, and a certain way they wanted America to go. And other than a few things like freeing the slaves, which was a good thing, having the slaves was a horrible thing. But we freed the slaves, and, you know, for all intents and purposes, most of them are able to vote without any problems. There's still some hanger-oners in the United States that want to say that black folks shouldn't be this or shouldn't be that they're not equals. I look at it like this, man. This is America. And anybody that is a citizen of the United States, we are all one family striving to take America in one direction for the betterment of everybody that lives here. Everybody is family to me, even the stupid ones. Every family's got them. Instead of being angry at the stupid ones or the ones that are less learned, be kind to them and try to help them. Because maybe they don't know what they're doing. Maybe they do, and they want to live that way. In a free society, you're able to do that. But for the most part, I think we should just get together and be American. Anyway, I'm going to cut the video off here because I just kind of wanted to get that out and talk about that for a minute. Let me know what you think. The Ninth Amendment, our rights, the Constitution, how America has become, what America used to be. Does anybody care? Do you care? The Ninth Amendment, does it mean anything, or is it just there, taking up space? Because if the Ninth Amendment isn't going to protect anything, if nobody is going to use the Ninth Amendment to protect anything, then we should just take it out. We should just take that Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and we should just burn them and throw them away. If we are going to stand behind it, we have to stand behind it the way it is written, not the way we want it to be. The Constitution is put in place as a certain thing. It was created as a contrivance. It is skillfully and inventively created for a particular purpose. It doesn't matter what you want it to be. What matters is what it is. And speaking of that, I plan on getting a copy of the Federalist Papers. That was the government, or I should say that was the Thomas Jefferson and John Adams and a few other people. That was their attempt at putting the Constitution in layman's terms, in simple terms that the people could understand. So when they went to promote the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and they went to promote the Declaration of Independence, the people could understand it better because it was broken down into common, everyday language for that day. I'm going to get a copy of that, and I'm going to put that in a video, and I'm going to read it. I'm going to go part by part, so it'll probably be a 9 or 10 part series on the Federalist Papers. What are they, and how important are they to the survival of America? Anyway, this has been All Things Considered, because I consider all things. Have a good night, everybody in America and all points beyond.